Good day, Leticia, and welcome to your full moon in Scorpio mini reading. I know it doesn't seem like that many words, but when I'm trying to do it while like the channeling starts immediately, things can go all awry. So the full moon was on the 12th. Today is the 19th. So some of the effects should have already settled in. Now, from what I have sort of recognized as the pattern and stuff, it takes the whole 2 weeks if you're doing like small stuff. Like if you were doing, because this moon was in Scorpio, but it had a Capricorn degree. If you were manifesting a new job, it would have popped up like in between the moon and the new moon, right? Uh, Please ignore any noise in the background. That's what be taking me so long to record, but I just got to do what I got to do. Right? So if you were doing something that was more long term, and the release was for something further out, you would see it manifest around the time that Scorpio season kicked in at the end of the year. So let's see what got released, and then I'll be able to give you a little bit more info on your personal thing. I just felt like you needed to know the difference between short-term workings and long-term workings. So what did Leticia release during the full moon in Scorpio? Compartmentalizing yourself. Some people might call it like a code switching. But it's like you have to be this person for this group, this person for this group, this person over here, because everybody needs something different from you. But it seems like that was pulling from your energy. It was actually not giving you the ability to fully or solidly define self and what you wanted for self. So you might have even felt like during this full moon, because it's like in order to, I was gonna say, to wash away the fragmented pieces so they come back into a whole, which is weird, right? Because when you wash something away, it usually doesn't come back in the whole. It's just a new ground for you to start. But it's like in this case, your pieces got washed out and then they wash back in, but then they like are meant to congeal back into the whole. So this is, I can already take it down. This is about to be a longer term. Like you'll pop out with your Phoenix energy during Scorpio season because this was like an internal break. What it feels like to me is sitting inside of your house while watching the other kids play outside because you can't go outside for whatever reason. Part of you was staying in the house. That's all it is. Part of you was staying in the house. And this could be, in a very modern way, you scrolling your phone. Like you were seeing all the things you wanted to do, all the stuff you wanted to move into, but you were wearing so many hats that none of those would let you go outside. There was even a little bit of thing that had been developing for you. And it straight up says envious gluttony. I was trying to avoid that one. But like, when you see somebody else doing what you have the potential to do, even if it's unconscious, what you want to do, wearing what you want to wear, living the life you want to have, it's like, I want to do that. But this Scorpio moon lets you know that in order for that to happen for you, you're going to have to take off some of those hats, or you're going to have to retract some of those octopus arms and all the stuff that you're doing for everybody else and pour into you a little bit more. Cultivate, develop you, define you to decide what you want. So therefore that you can start getting what you want in your life. This is not meant to just be a life of duty for you. Maybe it has in the beginning, but that part is sort of like, shh. You're coming into internal union is what I'm getting. So what parts of self is Leticia going to use this new energy for? What pieces of self is she going to develop this like this? So, ooh, Interestingly enough, it looks like you're developing stuff to get you ready for the next relationship. That's interesting, right? Like, damn, I had to go reroute my whole soul and refurbish myself for a relationship. But it's like this transformation that you're going to go through is going to make you less afraid to take risk in the future. Like, this is the big risk for you doing something outside of your estimation of self. There's absolutely some things that you wanted to do, but that you want to do that maybe you discounted or disqualified or said weren't possible. So as your mindset shifts, right, you're gonna, do I want to say sinking into your feminine energy? Because this feels like, let me show you the cards because it was the knight, which usually represents somebody who was into romance, right? The vampire, which usually represents somebody who could recognize vampires, right? And then we have the virgin, which is somebody who was protecting their innocence and their purity, right? Those parts feel to me like you getting in your soft energy because you feel safe and confident and you making your decisions for relationships going forward. Like you're able to go back into the dating scene, like you're ready to do that. But the other cards are a seeker. This is somebody who is looking to learn things, and destroyer is somebody who is trying to break away from their own limiting beliefs. I'm also getting you're going to be a little bit more aware of your power, maybe in terms of, and of course, I was shuffling through the other cards. That's what I was feeling. I was feeling pink dresses, but like, you see how this is, it's doing something right now. I need to fix that. You see how this is sort of draping? I was picturing that sort of energy, like you dressing up to go out in places, but it's not even because you're meeting anybody there. It's just because you want to feel cute. But like maybe you start going out for a drink every now and then. Maybe you go to the movies. Whatever it is, whatever you're doing, you're going to be in this energy of just femininity, just bouncing like, oh my gosh, I love being a girl. But that is the energy that is going to attract in your partner. It's like a piece of your femininity got lost somewhere in all the hats that you had to be wearing, like the girly girl part of you. So I guess Venus season is a good time to recognize, like, dang, when was the last time I played some makeup? Just because. And it doesn't even have to be a big thing. It's about you re getting in touch with that part of yourself and realizing that part of you, that sensual feminine part, that goddess energy, is a big part of who you were, and you have been not operating in that for a while. I guess maybe you didn't want to deal with any vampires. You just got out of a relationship where you had a vampire, maybe, but it's like you were holding that part back. You were not in that. You ain't seen that girl in so long, but she's going to come back smarter, braver, stronger, right? Between now and Scorpio season, as you cultivate who you are and what you want to do in the life that you want for yourself, because the life that you are directing yourself in towards, that you're saying, this is what I want, this is what I'm working on, this is what I'm building, is what the other person is going to join into. It's not like somebody coming and suddenly your life merges into theirs and you're focused all on them and that stuff. No, you have your own lane. This person I'm feeling has their own lane, and you guys are just going to walk along together. It's like y'all stuff will go together seamlessly. That's the way that you'll know it's going. They won't require you to change or stop doing what you're doing, and you won't need or have any red flags about like their life and how established they are. So, where is Leticia being led at this time? Where is she being led at this time? Descendant is the cusp for the seventh house. Didn't I say you was being led into a relationship? And this even says invitation. It's invited on a date. And then Mars, action, that's in charge of sexuality, personal power, uh, vigor, right? Take one more from there. Nurturing and healing. So no, that's it. This is series. That's your mothering energy, how you mother others, and what you need for that type of emotional caring. And then Virgo is the healing energy. Just anytime it's repair. So you are repairing Very much so. Your sexuality, your sensuality. This was very like kind of literal for it being a Scorpio moon, but at the same time, because it was at a Capricorn degree, it was supposed to affect your career and stuff. So maybe some of your sexual energy and your feminine energy being bound up and you was stopping you from reaching from what you needed to do in career world. I mean, it's also Capricorn energy is in charge of restrictions and ways that we hold ourselves back and uh, blockages, restraints, right? If you have not been in your feminine flow, that means you've been in your masculine action energy. That means you've been doing instead of allowing things to come to you. That will not be the case. You are going to be moved into a different flow between now and Halloween. Have fun.